I decided to take some maple because I love maple trees. There is so many kinds. So I can make a maple garden like Momiji. I think it will be beautiful.
Just gonna tie onto your red rope, mate. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, we'll do it that way. We just want to pull it up.
If you've been following the channel, you know I met Francois last year when he came down from Mjasa to fell a couple of trees we needed to remove for our house build. He's also renovating an old Kominka in Mjasa nearby.
Red rope coming up.
But there's another side to Francois. He's a forester by trade, and there aren't many in town who know more about trees or more about chainsaws than Francois. In fact, he has taught local chainsaw safety courses around Nagano Prefecture. As a foreigner in Japan, he is sometimes mistaken as a fellow student at these events, but not when he steps up to explain the use and safety of one of the most dangerous tools of his trade. But danger is probably something of a way of life for a forester, because in order to use those heavy chainsaws, a forester has to climb up the tree, slowly ascending and cutting each branch along the way. Because just chopping at the base of a tree, like Paul Bunyan, is great for fairy tales, but pretty dangerous for the real world. We're watching Francois take a particularly large and old akamatsu from a yard in the Ecoland neighborhood here.
2 seconds.
I just want to drop the branch now.
Yeah, we're just right in your way. Yeah. Okay. Drop away.
There isn't much clearance to take the tree out, so Francois has hired 2 mates to help him pull the branches down safely. The branches are heavy, and because they spread out, they can easily get caught on buildings, wires, or other trees. So each branch must be taken out carefully. All of this while teetering on the thin trunk of a pine, 50, 60, even 100 feet in the air.
Teamwork.
Over time, we've all come to know him as a bit of a visionary, a man who hopes to recreate history by renovating his traditional Kominka in the traditional manner. It is rare in Japan to build walls with mud and use rice husks for insulation, but that is what Francois is doing. But while tradition is important, he also believes in recycling to its very core. Francois uses wood from other old houses. He pieces together elements such as doors, floorboards, shoji screens, even wood stoves from teardowns or other existing builds and renovations. He collects tools from junkyards and fixes them up so they can be used again. He even uses scrap lumber, such as the edges of logs that can't be shaped into proper square boards. The lumber yards will give this wood away, but most aren't willing to take it. Pine trees are designed to sway with the wind, and that sway is what keeps them alive in the wind, rain, and snow. The danger may not be so much to the humans chopping the tree as it is to the other trees in the forest. Felling a tree onto other trees can damage or destroy several trees, and even wildlife could be at risk. So the tree has to be controlled. Obviously, down in town, this is even more true. Taking a tall akamatsu tree out of a yard could put several buildings at risk. One tree could easily topple onto 3 or 4 houses in even a rural neighborhood. So when a tree needs to be removed carefully in Hakuba, many people call Francois. The weight of a person can easily upset the equilibrium and balance of a tree, and the higher up Francois goes, the more he must be aware of the risk of falling. Each branch that is cut will offer resistance to his chainsaw and affect his balance. Even the angle of the saw can affect the balance of the tree. As he gets higher and higher, Francois needs to be aware of this because the tree is also becoming less stable and the trunk is narrowing. Finally, at the top of the tree, Francois has to safely take the crown off and drop it safely 100 feet down without risking life or property. And after the crown comes down, he'll shuffle back down the tree, cutting the trunk in relatively short pieces as he goes. It's not as easy as it looks, and it really doesn't look very easy from my angle. I certainly wouldn't be up there with him, but this has become something that Francois loves to do, at least when he's not up at his Kominka working on the renovation. And this work will allow him to purchase some of the items that he really will be unable to salvage. The big concern is windows for the Kominka. Francois is hoping to do a lot of forestry work this year because the Kominka needs double glazed or even triple glazed windows. There is no way to salvage these modern windows, and they are expensive. But they are really necessary to make a house as large as a Kominka comfortable in winter. So they're going to have to be purchased new, and that means Francois will have to climb a lot of trees this year. If after watching this series and getting to know Francois, you're interested in maybe spending a day volunteering or even coming up and staying with Francois for a few days and helping out with the renovation, he's always looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in getting involved in any way, let us know in the comments and we'll certainly reach out to you. Renovating an old Japanese Kominka is probably not for everyone, but for some people, it's a passion, and it's certainly an interesting couple of days. So, if it's something that interests you, come, check it out, and get involved. It could be one of the most memorable and satisfying days or weeks in your life.